guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do the assignment quadratic functions models. So let's begin. So the first one, this is a really easy assignment, so please focus. Identify the point corresponding to Q. So if you can see it, this is Q, okay? Corresponding, all I need to do is draw a horizontal line until I get to the second part of the graph. So horizontal line, so it's going to be here. Okay, so it always has the same y. As you can see, it always has the same y, which is 2, but the x, in this case, it's going to be -1, -2, and -3. So it's going to be -3 and 2. That's the only thing you need to do. Just draw a horizontal line. Okay, so it's going to be -3 and 2. It always has to have the same y value. So if we see the choices, as you can see, it's -3 and 2. -3 and 2. Let's go to the next one. Use the quadratic functions to predict f of x, which is the same as the y value, fx equals to 8. So he gave us that x is equals to 8. So all you need to do is plug in 8 and use a calculator and get the answer. So in this case, all you need to do, I'm just going to do this one because it's easy. So f, the x value now is 8 equals 25 times 8 squared minus 28 times 8 plus 585. And you get the answer. So 25 times 8 squared minus 28 times 8 plus 585, 1961. So the answer would be the first one. That is it. As I told you, this assignment is easy. Identify the vertex of the parabola. As we said, the vertex, it's either the highest value or the lowest value. As you can see, the graph keeps on going up, so we don't have a highest value, but we have a lowest value, which is this one. Okay? So this one is the lowest. As you can see, the x value is -1, while the y value is -2. So it's going to be -1, -2. Classify the function as linear or quadratic and identify the quadratic, linear, and constant terms. So first, we have this function. We need to classify it. So before we start classifying it, we need to simplify it so we can have the answer correct. So let's simplify it and multiply. Oh, what happened here? Just a sec. Okay, and multiply the numbers. So if we come here, so it's going to be the same thing as equals 3x times -2x is -6x squared. 3x times -3 is going to be -9x. 4 times -2x is -8x. And 4 times -3 is -12. So after we simplify, it's going to be -6x squared minus 17x minus 12. As you can see, because we have the squared left, it's going to be a quadratic function. Because we have the square, that's the highest exponent. And of course, the first term, because it's the squared, we call it the quadratic term, the one that he wants. So the quadratic term. The -17x without the squared is going to be the linear term, and the last one, the -12, is going to be the constant term. So that is it. So it's a quadratic term. And these are the answers. So it's either the first one or the last one. As you can see, it's the last one. It's the answer. Again, this one is easy. As we said, identify the vertex. The vertex either the highest value or the lowest value. In this case, we don't have the lowest because the graph keeps going down. So we have the highest. The x value is -3, while the y value is 1. So -3, 1. So the answer would be the first one. Classify the function as linear, quadratic, or what? As you can see, it's the same thing. We have the 6x squared plus x minus 12. It's going to be a quadratic function because we have the square, right? And the first one is the quadratic term. The one in the middle is the linear term with the x. And the last one is the constant term. So as you can see, the second one is the correct answer. Quadratic function, quadratic term is 6 squared. The linear term is x, and the constant term. Question 7, identify the point corresponding to q. The same thing. Corresponding point, it always has the same y value. It always has the same y value in here, in the quadratic function. So the y value in this case is -4. So this will be the point. The y value is -4, you go down, so it's going to be -1. So -1, -4 is the corresponding point. -1, -4, so the answer will be the second one. Identify the axis of symmetry of the parabola. The axis of symmetry is the function, if you can say, of the line that cuts the parabola into half. So which line cuts the parabola in half? It's this one in the middle. This line. That is the axis of symmetry. So where does it cut it? At x equals how much? -3. So when x equals -3, this line cuts the parabola into half. That means that this one will be the axis of symmetry. So x equals -3. So the answer will be the second one. Use the quadratic function to predict if x equals to 6. So the same thing. The way we solved the first one, we'll do this one again. All you need to do, he told you that the value of x is 6. You need to plug in 6 and get the answer. So y equals 2 times 6 squared minus 2 times 6 minus 2. So the answer would be 2 times 6 squared minus 2 times 6 minus 2 would be 58. So the answer will be the last one. This one. That is it, guys, for today. As you can see, it's a really easy assignment. I hope you get an A. Have a wonderful day. Be safe.